Continue with the last session. We were discussing the silent features. So, ordinary rights may be the change by the legislature by ordinary process of law making, but a fundamental right may only be changed by amending the constitution itself. Besides this, no organ of the government can act in a manner that violates them. Any infringement of fundamental rights can be challenged by any citizens of India in court of the law. The Constitution of India also prescribes some fundamental duties on every citizen in India. Fundamental duties, Article 4, Article 51A. These fundamental rights has been provided at the cost of some fundamental duties. These are considered as the duties that must be and should be performed by every citizen of India. These fundamental duties are defined as it shall be duty of every Indian citizen to abide by the constitutions, to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity, integrity of India, to cherish and follow the noble ideas which inspired our national struggle for freedom, to defend the country and render national services when called upon to do so, to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood, to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture, to protect and improve the national environment, to develop the scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry and reform, to safeguard public property and to observe violence, to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activity so that a nation constantly rises to higher levels of endeavor and the achievements. So these all are the fundamental duties uh, which should be followed by the citizens of India and this should be performed. Directive principle, part 4, article 3651. It provides the social and the economic base of a genuine democracy. The classification of these are as follows: socio-economic principles, liberal principles, Gandhian principles, and international principles. So let's discuss what is the socio-economic principles. As per the Article 38 of the Constitution of India, shall endeavour to formulate such social system which will secure social, economic, and political justice to all in all the shapers of life. Article 39A. The state shall try to formulate its policy in a such manner so as to secure adequate means of livelihood for all its citizens. Article 39B. The ownership of material resources would be controlled in such manner so as to subserve the common good. Article 39C. The economy of the state will be administered in a such manner so that wealth may not it be concentrated in a few hands and the means of production may not be used against the public interest. Article 41 of the Indian Constitution. The state will work within the limits of its economic viability and the progress provide to citizens the right to work and the right to education and the general assistance in the event of unemployment, old age, disease and the other disabilities. Article 42 of the Indian Constitution, the state will make provisions for the creation of just and human conditions of work. It will also ensure maternity relief. Article 43 of the Indian Constitution, the state will ensure adequate wages, good life, and rest to the laborers. The state will also endeavor to make available to the laborers various social culture facilities. Liberal principles, Article 44 of the Indian Constitution, the state shall endeavor to formulate and implement a uniform civil code for all the people living throughout the territory of India. Article 45 of Indian Constitution, the state shall endeavor to provide early childhood care and education for life for all the children until they complete the age of 6 years. So this has been changed now. So Article 47 of the Indian Constitution, the state shall drive shall strive to rise the level of nutrition and the standard of living. Thus, it will endeavor to improve upon the health of the people. Article 48 of the Indian Constitutions. The state shall strive to organize agriculture and husbandry on modern and scientific lines. It will also try to maintain and improve upon the breed of animals. Article 50 of Indian Constitutions, the state will try to separate the judiciary from the executive in the case of public service. Gandhian Principle, Article 40, the state will strive to organize panchayats in village and will endow them with such power which enable them to act as a unity of self-government. Article 43, the state shall strive to develop the cottage industry in the rural areas both on individual or cooperative basis. Article 47, the state will strive to ban the consumption of wine, other intoxicating drinks, and all such commodities which are considered injurious to health. Article 48 reveals that the state will ban slaughtering of cows, calves, and the other milk cattle. International principles. Article 51A, the state will strive to promote international peace and security. Article 51B, the state will strive to maintain just honorable relationship among various states in the world. Article 51C, the state will endeavor to promote respect all international treaties, agreements, and the law. Article 51F, the state will strive to settle regional disputes by arbitration. As per the Article 51A, the state will strive to promote international peace and security. Today, the Ministry of Foreign has uh, given one notification to the all Indian citizens which are living in the Ukraine. So you might have heard the crisis between Ukraine and uh, Russia. So right now it is not good to live in Ukraine. The government of our government, our Minister of Foreign has given notification to the people who are living in the Ukraine. They can leave the country as soon as possible. Constitutions of India. The government is divided into three distinct with but interactive branches: legislative, executive, and judiciary. Have to function within their own spheres democrated under the constitutions. In the other word, the doctrine of separation of powers has been implicitly recognized by the Indian constitutions. The government of India is having they have divided three district: legislative, judiciary, and executive. So as we are going to discuss all these main parts of the government, these are the organs of governance which we are going to discuss in the unit 4. The legislative means the Parliament of India, the President of India, the two houses of Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Judiciary, the Supreme Court of India consists of Chief Justice and 30 Associate Justice. The executive is the President of India, Vice President, Cabinet, Executive Department, and agencies and ministers. The basic principle of the Constitution of India. A careful study of the constitutions will show that there are at least 8 basic principles which are embodied in it and which form the foundation of the political system in India. These are popular sovereignty, socialism, secularism, fundamental rights, directive principle of state policy, judicial independence, federalism, and cabinet government. The basic structure of the constitutions is unchangeable and only such amendments to the constitutions are allowed which do not affect its basic structure and drop its essential character. By simple majority of the parliament, amendments in this category can be made by the simple majority members present and voting before sending them for the president's assent. By special majority of the parliament, amendments can be made in this category by a two third party by two-third majority of the total number of members present and voting, which should not be less than half of the total membership of the House. By special majority of the Parliament and ratification of at last half of the state legislature by a special majority. After this, it is sent to the President for his assent. An amendment to the Constitution of India, it is an extremely difficult affair and normally needs at least two-thirds of the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha to pass it. However, the Constitution of India is one of the most frequently amended constitutions in the world. Many matters that will be dealt with by ordinary states statutes in the most democracies must be dealt with by constitutions amended in India due to the document extraordinary detail. The Indian Supreme Courts and election commissions are recognized as the bedrock of Indian democracy. These two bodies stand up to the enormous powers that the constitutions invest in the central government in general and to the unbriefed power of the Indian Prime Minister in particular. The checks and the balances that are provided by the constitutions also smooth out to the straight relationship between the central government and the states by limiting the central government's ability to interfere in the state affairs. Usually, either the state government or the political party may file appeal or a right petition in the Supreme Court against the policy or practice of the Union government or the state government. Although India's constitution follows the British parliamentary system, it is the constitutions, not the Parliament of India, that uh, reigns supreme. As in the United States, the Indian courts interpret the constitutions and adjudicate the laws passed by the Parliament. Although the Parliament has the authority to amend the constitutions, India's court have made sure that the Parliament does not change its fundamental structure, which guarantees economic opportunity, social justice, religious, and political freedom to all the citizens. Although political corruption and the corruption are rampant in India as they are in other developing countries, and the courts are judiciary guarantors of Indian freedom from operations. The main characteristics of the Indian constitutions. The constitutions of India has some distinct and unique features as compared to the other constitutions to the world. As Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar, the chairman of the drafting committee, puts it, the framers had tried to accumulate and accommodate the best features of the constitutions, keeping in view the peculiar problem and needs of our country. Main characteristics of constitutions in India are below: longest written constitutions, partly rigid and partly flexible, a democratic republic, parliamentary system of government, a federation, a fundamental rights, directive principles of the state policy, fundamental duties, secular state, and independent judiciary, and the last, single citizenships. These all are the main characteristics of constitutions of India. So many of these characteristics we are going to discuss in the unit 3. So don't miss next session. Thank you. Best wishes.